Oh, we're down living legend in building. Living legend in building. I see you. All right, Taylor, man. Community condolences. I just seen something with brother in Naptown. Community condolences, man. Regards. Okay, how you get this? How you do this shit? Okay. What's that? What's that? What's the 477? Okay. 477-8785. What's the call in number? Damn. What's 929. 929. What's that? 73785. I'm forgetting the call in number.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
Once again.
California. Lonely Legacy Black Panther Party. Protect and respect it. And never.
You can record, yes. You can grab a seat. You right here. You right there. Watch it all record and stuff. You got your notes and stuff?
Yes.
Okay. We on live. Okay. We on live. Okay. That kind of noise is kind of staticky. Is it? Real officer come ready. The background kind of real staticky. Bring me on in. Just come ready. Bring me on in. Yeah, static is crazy. Just come ready. Static is crazy. Static is crazy. Real officer come ready. The static is intense. Right, come rip. Peace right back at you. Make sure you're not blocking their camera. Where their camera at? Okay. So come ready. Bring me on in. How about you get a PSA? You got all that. I just told the youngsters in the studio. They told my camera using. Okay. Is you cool right there recording? Okay. Let's come right there. Yep. So the camera, you gotta bring me in. Like the static is too intense. Forgive me. We got somebody who ain't worked the boards in a while, working the boards. Hope she hit me cracking on them. Not intellectual. At the blog talk, to the comrade, you get this static is too intense. So when we get to that static storm, we gonna roll. So comrade, you can hear me. Come on about. That static is too intense. Free them all. I'm trying to give out the blog talk. I want to. Oh, hold on. I didn't press 1. That's what it was. She probably couldn't hear me because I didn't press 1 after 9.
At first, it just come get to you.
Uh-huh.
Hello. Hello.
Comrade. I can't hear them. Since Comrade, if you can hear me, go. Okay, let's start. Let's roll. Yep. Okay. Heads up, eyes open, the fist clenched. We catch your blog talk later. We ready? Ready? Okay. Heads up, eyes open, the fist clench. Y'all know what this is. How we do this, y'all. Let's get locked and loaded for another episode of Freedom on Radio here at Intellectual Radio. Y'all take a pause for the calls when you can't open those front doors and back windows. Let them know what time it is. You dig? We can be reached at 708-223-8953 or 929-477-3785. I don't know about that second one number yet because we're going to do some struggles with the blog talk. So I'm going to try this again in a minute, y'all. But in the meantime, between time, we're going to keep on moving. We got some y'all get this. Make sure y'all lock and load this one. In fact, all the episodes, and they doing Timbuktu. You got to bury them underground for future generations and know what's happening. And it's like a timeline of what's been going on. A lot of times people say, "Well, I didn't know this was happening," but you can live. We're gonna Freedom on Radio like a timeline, also in particular for different moments of resistance. What was going on? People can look back and say, "No." The history books and say this. We can see what was going on. We study Freedom on Radio, y'all. We did a Freedom on Radio in the spirit, like we did Freedom on Radio in the spirit, the Black Panther Party newspaper, the intercommunity newspaper, in the spirit of the Black Panther Party. So information is raw material for new ideas. I'm gonna cut to the chase, y'all. You dig? We got some powerful DNA in the building, y'all. We're gonna let our people introduce themselves when we got here. But I really, I'm excited about. Not to say I'm not excited. All the episodes of Freedom on Radio, y'all. Look at this here. We got Mike Brown just tapped in with us on Facebook. Michael Brown Sr., father Mike Brown. We in fact, we didn't say Ferguson. We say Mike Brown Town. You know what I'm saying? Executed. You know what I'm saying? Gunned down, Ferguson, Missouri. You know what I'm saying? Until we go up there, man. I ain't came down yet from the 10th year. I'm gonna say I kind of be hesitant with that term anniversary, but the 10th year anniversary. You know what I'm saying? When Mike Brown Jr. was gunned down, man, and to his family, you know what I'm saying, to the community up there, still getting down. And speaking of anniversaries, y'all, we coming up on the 55th year, December 4th, the 55th year of the assassination of Chairman Fred Defense Captain Mark Clark. And with that calendar, you know what I'm saying, you put in context. A lot of times you look at a situation, you say, man, the Mike Brown, I said, damn, Tamir Rice, all that was like back, boom, boom. And you put in context that time period. December 4th, 1969, a lot of things preceded it too, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard to, when we talk about it, we put in context the climate, what was going on. And we're going to be talking about some, in particular, today, the significance of yesterday, you know what I'm saying? And today, Spurgeon Jake Winters, long live legacy, man. Spurgeon Jake Winters, y'all, again, do not leave, y'all. Y'all stay with us, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Who I'm waiting till his family get on in to give them more details about that, you know what I'm saying? But man, hell of a comrade, you know what I'm saying? Man, I tell you, that's who Chairman Fred actually want my name to be, you know what I'm saying? That's actually my middle name. Jake, hell of, you know what I'm saying? Man, and long legacy Spurgeon Jake Winters, long legacy Black Panther Party. And this was November 13, 1969, day after his birthday, November 12th. You did. we're talking about that. I got some young. First of all, who we got here? How old are you? And I'm excited about this, y'all.
Hi, my name is Jewel, and I am 17.
I'm gonna say this. This is I'm trying to one down to nine.
Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to the Now
I need y'all. Um, I got another youngster coming in too. I think I don't know how Chelsea is, but get them put on. This, my brother just told me he said he makes sure we always on TikTok and all that. This is something that I want to be. We struggle to be intergenerational. This ain't nothing that's what your parents talk about this or the older people talk about this. Here. I got some hell of a DNA right here. Her father's. I'm glad. I'm so her school report and her father's here with her. I'm honored. You know what I'm saying? And I'm honored to she going to interview me for a school report. But this is something again, all generate this should be, you know what I'm saying, all of us be talking about. This is not nothing we say, leave it to, you know what I'm saying, the older folks, the young folks, intertwined with all the generations, y'all. So with that being said, y'all, I want y'all again, hit the TikToks, hit the Twitter, is it X now, Facebook, you know what I'm saying? And somebody told me, they said, kind of Facebook kind of fade now. And I said, damn, I said, as soon as I catch up with something, they say it's fade now. But I want y'all to ride with us. I want y'all to ride with us. I want you know, because a lot of times I know sometimes people say, well, Chairman, you throwing out these political terms, so on and so forth. Everything is political. Words, terms, fashion, music, everything. And again, this is something that we want to make sure we hit the barber shops, the pool halls, the beauty shop, the social media, all that, you know what I'm saying? So again, I'm honored. Get comfortable. Again, introduce yourself, who you are, and you know what I'm saying. And I'm on cloud million, as Chairman Fred said. I'm too proletarian, revolutionary, intoxicated. Because a lot of times we got to force this information to, you know what I'm saying. Oh man, come on, talk about our Black history, so on and so forth. And I got the opportunity. My brother called me. He said, "Man, listen." He said, "We trying to touch down with you, man." He said, "Man, we follow you on Facebook. My daughter, man, he said we got that lineage, just as hell of a lineage, man, with us." I said, "Okay." He said, "Man, his daughter want to interview for a school project." And I said, "Okay, my brother Percy, Boxdale, they say, man, that he said, just reached out to him." And I said, then Jake Winters family here. I said, "Listen, let's seize the time. All this energy right here, y'all. So this is gonna be a lot of information here. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing you can say, well, that's that political stuff, whatever. This is a climb. We do distinguish electoral politics from politics. Electoral politics is the process you voting, but politics is everything. The terms we use, how we relate, everything. Ain't no saying. So again, y'all get comfortable. Y'all saying, come on in with us. Y'all got them calling numbers. Call in for I can't do 929 numbers because I'm going through struggles. I don't keep on throwing slugs. I'm go through struggles with that static in the background. So I'm try again in a minute. But y'all can call in 708-223-8953. So I'm switching chairs for a minute, y'all. I'm gonna sit back here and you know what I'm saying, and the youth. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say like in a way like because I tell people they separate, say that the youth, the elders separate, the men, the women. There are different dynamics with us, but again, in the words of Marcus Garvey, one struggle, one people. So so you feel now. Forgive me. Don't you pick up this habit? There's no journalist, no coffee. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go get a sip of coffee real quick. I'm good to go.
So, excuse me, but hi, my name is Jewel. I'm Larry Hoover's granddaughter, and
Respect.
It's an honor to really meet you, especially like what your father did, and he was an amazing activist for our people in Chicago, especially. I do got a couple of questions. I do. I'm sorry. I do want to ask. Um, how did your death of your father have affect the political issues that was happening during those times, and you growing up?
First, let me premise with this: respect to you, respect to your lineage. Um, it go without saying. We're gonna sit anyway. You know what I'm saying? Most respect for Mr. Hoover, the Hoover family. I can't reiterate. I'm glad to meet you. I'm glad that we can dialogue on this because I initially was set for you just to do the ask me the questions. I said I know some a lot of other people that probably had these blockers up. They say, well, I'm young, I want to know that political stuff. So I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, for help, get into the nooks and crannies of your respective age range. Now, the question, one more time. How did
Like, how did the death of your father change, or how did it like make people view like the political issues that like how did it like? Cause well, what I'm trying to say, like, how did it involve like his death involve like the political issues that was happening, and also like you growing up?
hmm, quite something for with the SAS, actually we come up on the 55th year, and I, even growing up, as a subject in the city of Chicago that a lot of people, tried to like gloss over. In fact, um, even as of recent, I can just think about, just how uneasy it is for people talking about, the assassinations of Chairman Fred and Defense Secretary Mark Clark, and just it was, the graphic depicting, saying what went down, and there's still a lot of unanswered questions. That's in regards to how deep it went. Like in fact, even with the civil case, it was there was degrees of it. What the state would say, okay, they would try to like limit it, like okay, there's a few bad. First, and the initial thing was that in the Chicago Tribune reported is a shootout, and then saying through different struggles, so on and so forth. Get to the point, saying, stay okay with what is the old few bad police theory, so on and so forth. But to get to that stage in the game, of a actual concerted effort of an assassination, that's a difficult subject. A lot of people don't want to touch, didn't want to touch on. And I remember even one, some issues in school, and some people like looking like feeling uncomfortable to say that. But I was fortunate always. My mother and some members of the Black Panther Party, to be always have a confidence, to be clear what happened.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I also want to ask, like, since you are the son of Chairman Fred Hampton, I wanted to ask, did this ever like made you feel like a like you know how some people like when someone that powerful and you're his offspring, did it ever made you feel like people was pushing towards you to be exactly like him, like you was his shadow? Like, have you ever feel like that was kind of like a burden to you, and in one point you was like, I don't know, like people was trying to push you to be like her father, but they wasn't like want to say it wasn't pushing you to be you.
I understand. Yeah, that I was one of our mantras is organizationally speaking, I say not. I feel fortunate to fall from the tree of two freedom fighters, and not to walk in under the footsteps, but the path of Paul steps. Chairman Fred and the Black Panther Party. But that was, I can remember situation scenarios. And I think I mentioned this a few interviews back. Um, Being in the police station and having about seven of us having the same last name, Hampton, and I mean, as ironic as that was, and one of the young police picking up the pictures saying, which one is related to D. Hampton? And nobody's saying nothing. And the older police come and put the picture next to our face, and they got to me. I was like third one. He said, "That's your man right there." That's when the police said that in the community with our people. Um, it was things that like even when I spoke as a child, I recall struggling to hold my hands down when I spoke. But then, what I'm saying, then I see actual footage of him speaking. I was like, oh, okay, this cool to do that. And to go more specific with your question, I don't. It was I think some it's I said yes and no. What people look at and say, like it's a one being that his genre being a freedom fighter, revolutionary. I even see now that's difficult for a lot of people to even really define, recognize what that was. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a stage in the era which called as a revolutionary period. this is a period we call now, it's like it's reactionary period. It seems like it's coming up on some revolutionary times, but where they had a time where people understood what a revolutionary was. And so not knowing what that was while growing up, a lot of people not knowing it, it probably kind of took away from people saying you should be, saying, freedom fighter. Because a lot of people don't know they even now, I just in this recent election, people are, saying, are coming to grips with distinguishing, like, well, man, what this, you're not a politician, you know what I'm saying? What are you? You know what I'm saying? To have the independence of a freedom fighter that actually doing it for there's service to the people. That's something a lot of people can grasp. So that kind of held them back to say be like him, because a lot of people, they really couldn't sum it up. You know what I'm saying? And so I think and then there were cases where people say, man, you should um, uh, be doing this and that. One time, in fact, I just this brother, he's going through some health issues. I just talked to him recently, and we grew up together. And he recalled, he said, man, I was about 12, 13 years old. He said, I know who your father was. He said the police. He said we was out. He said maybe it was past curfew. We was hanging out real late. So we was hanging out, and the police pulled up on us and they threw us on the car. And one of the detectives had said, "Man, you should be ashamed of yourself. I ain't hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Who your daddy was." And then he said the guy with me said, "You told him you should be ashamed of yourself being you know who he was. You being a police." And he said, and I later on he asked me, say, "Who is your?" He said, "Man, who is your father?" And I said it to them. He said after the movie, he said, I'm really getting a better grasp on who he was.
So I also got an opinion. It's a lot of movies about the Black Panthers, and I think some of the movies I think I forgot which one I watched, but they only showed them wearing like the leather jackets
Yeah.
and only holding guns. And to me, like that's not what they were all about. They were about more because they didn't wear that every day.
Mhm.
They wore that in special occasions, like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like protests and a lot of those
Mhm.
situations. And to like, I wanted to know your opinion on that. Like when people be making movies, why? Like, what's your opinion on that type of situation? Like, do you think it's like misleading, especially because they don't really go deep into the topic like that?
Yeah. A lot of people are incapable. They really can't explain the dynamics of Black Panther Party. And, like everything ranged from uniforms to the weaponry. In fact, it was the same Minister U.E.P. Newton, who was co-founder of the Black Panther Party, said we must even politicize the gun. Because a lot of people just they seen the gun like we say like in a reactionary way, just like the Panthers out there, shoot them up, bang bang. But even like it was certain like in the movie Judas and Black Messiah, we had to struggle. Like I talk about this scene for example, the scene where initially the sister was in the headquarters and the police would shoot up in the headquarters. At first she came out shooting first. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. You have to take the people are walking outside the street and you have to take into account the first name of the Black Panther Party, the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. And so the challenge, even the case of Spurgeon J. Winters, who we gonna have this family gonna be in with us in a minute. It was a lot of misnomers, misinformation put out about that to defend. He moving to defend himself, and the uniforms, like, what I'm saying, they wanted like this, like structure, like this is our present day Black Panther Party Cubs, our uniforms. But they would check the temperature of the people, check the climate. Also, there's certain times that you don't want to be detached or separated from the people. There's an old war story my mother talks about, which one time Chairman Freer had the Panthers go um, get these church clothes, and they went to church to talk to the people. He said, don't go up in there attacking them. You know what I'm saying? Because they got the white Jesus on the wall. Go up in there and ingratiate yourself with the people. So how you know what I'm saying? So they assess the time period. You know what I'm saying? Was it effective? You know what I'm saying? Because you want to show that similar structure, but at the same time, don't be separated or disconnected from the community, from the people.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for
Yeah.
telling me that.
Let me ask you. Now I'm talking so long. Are you gonna be able to go back and chop this up for your report? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Okay. Right on. Right on.
I also got a question. I was reading a lot of articles, and it was different articles from different publishers, and I noticed that some especially like the white publishers, they were calling you and your father leaders, but every like the black our people was calling y'all like chairman, and I wanted to know what is the difference of chairman and leader.
Right on. These to go. Let me just jump in with you. These are great questions, and it's important. I was going to touch on this today. That you just like we say we are realists. We're not racist.
Mhm.
There's different like language to pick up on who wrote it, who said it from real perspective, and it's important. I was watching this Tamron Hall and a piece of Tamron. I was in the laundry man washing clothes, so I just happened to watch it, see it on TV. I wasn't looking for it, so for full disclosure, I wasn't looking for this show. But they was talking about the case of the YSL and Young Thug, the recent case in Atlanta, and it was people. They had these so-called hip hop specialists. It was this white guy, it was the white lady, I believe. You know what I'm saying? She was, and it was the spokesperson for this. And I was like, damn. And this is in every situation, you know. And people say, well, it does make a difference on even who speaks for you. You know what I'm saying? Who, because like even language and culture, like when you like it can even if it can be a sincere intent, but it can be right here, and that narrative can be switched up. You know what I'm saying? When someone's saying they're speaking for you, and like that's a struggle we're going through, like even right now with the Black
We
Panther
are.
Party. I was watching. I said, I'm looking. I said, now they couldn't find nobody. Like one lady, she has a podcast, and she's breaking down the history of hip hop. I'm like, it's certain terms, and you know what I'm saying, that even in our community, like, the tone and the breathing space. You know what I'm saying? How you know saying how it impacts what you feel, the rhythm. In fact, in Quantico, Virginia, they said the FBI would do these studies on like black preachers. They say like um the tone, this is like a decibel point of a preacher in church. You know what I'm saying? How it feels to us as a people, and that's and like we right now. I mean, they got in Chicago. Is so many attempts to you know what I'm saying misrepresent the Black Panther Party to this day. I mean, it's and people say, sister said, "Child, I feel bad for the battles you go through." You know what I'm saying? And I said, well, I say I appreciate it too. I said, but also I think Jaguar Haraya said about the lady the other day who wrote who her story was told about the Matrix. It's actually a sister, I can't recall her name, who actually wrote it. She was recording everything. And they say they told her, I feel sorry. They stole your story. And she said, I feel sorry for the people who believe in the nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And to be deprived of that. And it's some things can be a certain, like even that term. In fact, Minister UEP Newman went to a whole in-depth dialogue about servant as opposed to, you know what I'm saying, about leader. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these, you know what I'm saying, different communities, different terms mean different things. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have to fight, that precious thing about self-determination, to be able to speak on our own terms.
That was powerful.
That was a powerful question. I'm still with you. I'm trying to try this one more time. When she here, I'm trying to.
Another question. Well, it's kind of like adding on to that one. I was wondering, like, when people like, how you ever.
There are no shows scheduled
I'm gonna
within
ask
the
one
next
this.
24 hours.
Like, how you ever felt like people have ever like judge you because who you are, and meaning like, let's say they got, you know how people was telling stories about like all types about the Black Panthers, like they were like violent, and they were just aggressive, but they wasn't, because they were fighting for what's right and the equality, the rights for their people, for our people. But I was wondering how you ever like. Well, I'm so sorry. It's hard to
No,
explain.
you. I'm so mad that this ain't on Blog Talk Radio. You know, I'm upset. You. I'm fighting not to. I didn't want to jump in and cut you off to a question because I mean this. Man, I just went through a situation recently. Recently. Oh man, man. And again, we just this is our first time. This is not scripted. I don't know. This is not scripted. These are. I just went through. I mean, I'm listening to your question. Oh, let me vent. Oh man, just said it was something. Two recent situations where I was coming to touch down with two different situations with professional athletes, and I one I you know I one case was the sister Angel Reese, and I'm talking to her, and soon and she was open. I said, I'm Chairman Fran Hampton Jr., the Black Panther Party, And and soon the guy who gets assigned to security, he's like swept her away. I said, "Damn, we go." I can imagine, And then brother DC Young Fly, who I got to extend my clenched fist to, when he got on the stage, he said, "Man, Chairman Fred of Black Panther Party." He helped break that ice with like who I am to people. And this is going to be play a role with help me break the ice. Help us break the ice. I was just spoken to some students in Broadview. It was phenomenal. And once I said, let us get on the stage, had the actual dialogue. You'll be surprised what can happen. But it's intentional to have such a bogus narrative put out about freedom fighters. You know, um, Commandante Ernesto Che Guevara, Commandante Ernesto Che Guevara of the Cuban Revolution. In fact, it was him and Commandante Fidel Castro, the leadership of the Cuban Revolution. He said, "A revolutionary, no matter how preposterous it may sound, is guided by the most sincere sentiments of love." And that dynamic, the love for the people. And that's why, and so a lot of times I can't do certain moves. And I was talking to another athlete, and and he's like, "Oh, the Black Panther." I was like, "Damn." I say the damage control that we got to do. And I can pick up in rooms when I come in, sometimes, and that's why I got to ease in, and they don't know about our programs, even right now, So I mean that's man, it's something that you know, it is it cuts, it impacts the work. It's a setback. It holds people back from embrace. Saying without the people, we can't. That's a necessary ingredient for us. That's one. To, Minister Pinu say, without the people, revolution is impossible. But also, that's our security base. See, once they isolate us from the people, it opens a door. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a slander campaign. When you look at different political prisoners campaigns, you look at, saying the streets, our people in general, it just don't, it's an attack. Like, they isolate you.
So do you also feel like after seeing like those different political views, it's also like kind of like another way to make us divide, like
Yes, it
divide
is.
us as the
Yes, it
unity
is.
as Black people?
It is.
Because I wanted to ask, like, do you feel like are we getting better being unified, or are we slow, like just not, being divided, because it's so much happening with the world, and it also like with the younger generation trying to get us to be more divided so we could be more powerful. Like, I want to know your opinions on that.
It's stages. It's ebbs and lows. It's ups and downs. It's through struggle we learn we see who we are. We learn ourselves. What I'm saying, through contradictions and through contested conditions, and we have to be ready for it. It's like a lot of times we don't want to know that we will. Well, a lot of us say we think we have unity, but a lot of times it's under uncontested conditions. Like even just now, this recent election, a lot of people are like surprised with different people shot. But we have to we have to engage in struggle. As we talk about, like, look forward to revolutionary times to find out who we are. You know, to see like every community, every people, every group of people, they have contradictions. They have families. They have it like um, everybody. You have different dynamics. We can't romanticize it. We all the same. We want the same thing. No, we all have been impacted by different things in our life, or different things that didn't happen to us in our life. And so it's different periods of times we can have points of unity. Like even with the American Revolution, we are taught, particularly in the schools, to say that everyone was like what this or Patrick Henry said, "Give me liberty or give me death." But that wasn't the narrative for everybody. Thomas Jefferson said he said the American Revolution, 1/3 was for it, 1/3 was against it, and 1/3 on whichever way the wind blew. And that's a reality. That you gonna have some people who don't care what you say to them. There's no constitution, no backbone. You know what I'm saying? You have those who are firm, and that's a dynamic of, what I'm saying. And so it's certain. That's what the Panthers would say. As attorneys, say, seize the time. So certain, you got to put your ear to the ground. Say, okay, now right now we having a certain conversation. When I go to certain places, I put my ear to the ground. I say, what's going on? What's phenomenal? And there's certain things they like people say, like a certain conversation people can have right now about the music industry. They couldn't have a while ago. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't believe it, but now they can see, like, I can see that happening now. So what I'm saying? So we got to seize the time.
Do you also feel like the music that people putting out, like like especially with a lot of the raps like being about violence and being about like drugs, violence and gang violence especially is making our people like it's like what my dad be teaching me, like words are spells. So so
Yeah, so right
especially
on.
especially like how we listen to music and how people what people saying,
Yes.
those are spells. So do you think people listening to those violent raps and not listening to like the conscious rap like back in the 90s, like them expressing and them telling like, oh, free our people, we gotta work together, really did something that also did something with our people being divided?
No doubt about it. The music. They we don't. And I'm glad you pointed that out. Cause see, and asking that question, because I think we just said it. Just if people say, well, it's in the home, but the music. I mean, it does. I mean, it impacts you. Like it's certain. You go. I was in this club one time. 22nd. I forgot the name of that club. It's closed down. But I recall this situation. His brother was a DJ, and I remember us going upstairs, and I remember him saying, "Watch this, Chairman." And he was out to make that person move. And I watched. He would put a certain song on, and they like get up. I said, you, Dave, that's planned. That you know that person. He said, okay, let's sit back. And people would come in. He said, pick anybody. I said, them ladies right there. He would go through a sound. He would pick, and you would see. He said he can. He said why he can. He said I can send it up. He can. He literally showed me. He said he can get them like make it heated in the place like kids want to get out fight each other. And he pulls some songs and like you can see the atmosphere change. I was like, wow, this a DJ. It was certain things. So he said, he said, watch how calm it down. He'll play something else, and next thing you know, people like they talking to each other. I said, this is a DJ. They in the more they call it programming. You go, you call somebody, you can call in Chicago, call LA, call Detroit at the same time. Say, wait a minute, in the morning, the time. See, that's why the Black Panther Party, their free breakfast program was the timing of it. The time your brain is open to a certain place, a certain time. What they hit us with, the term you being this called a B, you been robbed, you stuck up, it impacts you. And I'm an adult. I catch myself, you know what I'm saying? I mean, my mood, I be drained, you know what I'm saying? So I got this ain't my first meal of music. So a child, you know what I'm saying? This whole thing, I mean, add that with the video games.
Especially with the
Yeah,
video games, because it's a lot of video games
Grand
with
Theft Auto.
violence,
Oh
Grand Theft
man,
Auto. It's a lot of video games with violence, and this really be this what the kids be playing, but that
exactly.
also be affecting them negatively
Yes,
because it be teaching them like, oh, I got to do this and do that,
yes,
and their parents be really confused where they got all this language and what they got this mindset of, but it's generally what they be giving their kids, like with the
yes.
music and the video games. Because I'm trying to major into sound and technology because I
Hmm.
personally want to be in American politics. I want to be a DJ myself and a
Hmm.
music producer, and I'm learning about this. And I know like it's different beats per minute and frequencies that could change a person, like how they
Yes,
feel, how they think,
yes,
and especially I was like experimenting like different beats. Is like I would say I would play something with my friends. It's like listen to this and how you feel and give me like describe how you feel and they give me something positive. So I would change it to something more like moody and they negative.
yes, yes. You own it. Yeah, and these be like, I mean, for lack of better terms, propaganda bombs. Propaganda bombs. These are in Japan, in Vietnam, they had a thing called propaganda bombs. You know what I'm saying? Like in Vietnam in particular, they would have like they would in Saigon. Saigon was a lot of black soldiers that was fighting, and the Vietnamese would like drop these bombs and leaflets would pop out. They would say so like, why are you fighting over here? They just assassinated Dr. King and Chairman Fred Hampton, and this impacted the soldiers. They started asking questions like, "Damn, they in a foxhole." And that propaganda is impacting you. The propaganda hit us with, so you study hearing these terms. So it impacts you. You know how you view each other, all that. So and we had to start looking at it. It's warfare. You know, what I'm saying? I mean, again, propaganda bombs. Yeah.
I also had a question. So when I was doing my research, a lot of people didn't know there was also a sister who called Ella Brown who was also running the Black Panthers, and it's is she well known but not well known enough? So I want your opinion about that. Have you ever heard of her? Well, I know you heard of her, but how you like, what's your opinion?
Oh no, okay. There's Elaine Brown.
Elaine Brown.
Yeah,
Okay.
Free them all.
Islam, beloved.
Islam, how you feel, my brother? Hold on 1 second. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Who we got? Okay. Bear with me 1 second. Let me. I'm trying to figure out work this technology. On 1 second.
Yes, sir. Take your time.
Okay.
Beloved.
Who we got here?
Hamza.
Okay. Welcome to Free My Radio, my brother. Yes, sir. Hold on a second. Yeah. Okay. I'm being interviewed up here. I don't know if you tuning in to our show right now. You can hear it. Are you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
I want to touch down with you, beloved, when you get a chance. Hit us back. You remember Black Man Mario and his white folks?
Yeah.
Remember you came over there to my home base on
No doubt.
The Austin over there.
Okay, right on.
Touch down with me. I got a podcast, man. I need you, Lord.
Okay. Tune in. We on podcast right now. You know that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I got you. Okay, right on. Go hit each other's show, brother. Right on. Yes, sir.
Question. I love you, sir.
Love you too, brother. Right on. Yes, indeed. Right on. Yes, sir.
Yes.
My fault. So that this forgive me. This UEP News is 1974. 1974. The chairperson, Black Panther Party. And you're right, a lot of the history, like even in fact, ran from her, and then Chairman Bobby Seale ran for elected office 1973. When this we got back out, 73. Get out 71. Oh, excuse me. And I should get my dates correct. And these are different dynamics. This kind of go back to the question, like you say, like even certain forces and certain dynamics, individuals and periods of the party, a lot of people not familiar with. Kind of go back to the uniform question too you talked about, because like even at that period, like engaging to a politics, like people said, what happened to the Panther Party? Who was in leadership? And you put in context even the revolutionary leaps and bounds that was, and it's important to put that in context, because like a lot of the party is not only not giving credit for a lot of the moves that it did, is slandered with a lot of stuff that it didn't do. Like people be saying stuff that want the Black Panther Party, and then also it's not giving acknowledged. Like people say stuff like, "What about the gender contradictions?" But you say, "Like you put it in context of the time to have even like saying women in leadership." That's but also to put how revolutionary this was, to put in the context of on the heels of a period when it was rumored. A lot of people say they didn't know if Pat Nixon was the wife of Richard Milhouse Nixon, the U.S. president, and she was like able to like literally able to speak, like she can talk or not. And you had you come on the heels of shows like Leave It to Beaver, all that. So to have women, and what I'm saying, this was a revolution, a revolution at leaps and bounds. It was like to put in context, that's important. Um, Even the engaging led to a politics, even what I'm saying, how they deal with the race question on their terms. Because a lot of times people see you like you'll take it for granted. Like even the language dynamic. Like I was talking to someone earlier. I say, like some people say, like now you see how profanity like is loosely, loosely used. But that was like you couldn't be on the media, nothing. And the party even politicized that. You know what I'm saying? Like people say, well, he was cussing, but the party position was profane terms for profane times. You know what I'm saying? They weren't dressing it up. And it wasn't nothing that have you go look at images and footage of sisters strapped. I'm telling you, what I'm saying, on security. You know what I'm saying? In leadership. You know what I'm saying? And that and again, and stuff that people make us saying like this like there's a discussion now that this is what 2024. People talking about, saying like how backwards, like people can't see like women in certain positions, and this wasn't given like force fed to people, like how the ruling class, how America tried to do it, like okay, just have a black person for this position, so we got a black person, or just say a woman for one position. It was like the party had to refer to democratic centralism, where you know what I'm saying, with of course leadership, but also vote, you know what I'm saying, input, you know what I'm saying, from central committee, all these different dynamics, you know what I'm saying, and there's actual stories, you know what I'm saying, I hearing back from, you know what I'm saying, from rank and file to leadership with women, and it wasn't just there and say, okay, we got women now. You know what I'm saying? And of course, there were struggles and contradictions. However, to put that in context at the time, the Black Panther Party was a revolutionary organization.
So it's like what it sounded like to me. Y'all was really y'all was ahead of time, basically.
Well, I'm gonna say
Like,
they, because I'm the Black Panther
they.
Party, cuz, and and that's revolutionary to be ahead of time. And a lot of moves people couldn't relate to. They say how, you know what I'm saying, like even how they dealt with the gender dynamic, you know what I'm saying, gender contradiction, the race contradiction, you know what I'm saying, and again, no, that's your question. Yes, man, ahead of the times. Yes.
So I to touch up like so I wanted to know like what is the difference with the Black Panthers and the Black Panther Cubs? Like do y'all have different motives? Do y'all have like different motives but the same agenda? Like are y'all trying to like bring in the youth more because we are the future and bring us onto the same agenda and like kind of want to say like a more effective and power like a more effective and safer way?
Let me let me say this. Let me preface with this. As European Union said, the revolution is a protracted struggle.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I say like I guess like the analogy of like a protractor, like ongoing. Because a lot of times people say, "We're just gonna get up and fight. We're gonna be free."
Mhm.
And as European Union say, revolution is not an incident. It's not, you know what I'm saying. It's not a once. It's a protracted struggle. We, the Black Panther Party, we do have in common. Our fight is for that of self determination, the right to determine the destiny of our communities. That's the Black Panther Party is fighting for. That's what we fighting for. We have our main one of our mantras. Our main mantras is that we are the great grandchildren of Garvey, reference to Marcus Garvey, offspring of Malcolm X, El Hajj Malik, El Shabazz, and the Cubs of Panthers. So putting struggle in lineage, like you know what I'm saying, like so you know, so we say we the ideological cause of the Black Panther Party. So to be carrying on, we don't. Some people I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. Some people say, you know, I mean, we're gonna be free, you know, now in a certain period of time. We recognize we know it's a protracted struggle, you know what I'm saying? And it's they're gonna be, you know, advances, setbacks. But the Black Panther Party cause we our position is to you know what I'm saying, to pick up that baton and it's a needed, you know what I'm saying, dynamic. In fact, my mother said about Tupac, Pac needed organization and organization needed Pac. You know what I'm saying? And so that's we still that pressure into self-determination. That's of course there's certain dynamics that exist. In fact, sometimes I struggle my advisory board, who are a lot of members of the Black Panther Party, say you got to put stuff in context. They didn't have social media. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So we have to take that into account. But the core of it, you know what I'm saying, and look at these forces and utilize them, kind of like how the U.S. They look at General Patton and others, you know what I'm saying, before them, and their agenda is still ongoing from Nixon to Trump, you know what I'm saying, from Kennedy to Clinton, you know what I'm saying? But it's protracted. So we look at this as ongoing. Ours doesn't have the luxury of to go uninterrupted. You know what I'm saying? We get through we can't assassinations locked up, history. We going through struggles right now. People try to hijack history, switch stuff around. So by the time a lot of us catch on to what happened, we down in the grave again. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people they get conscious. Oh, I see what happened before. Like, yeah, they better check you out of here now. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to other communities, especially the ruling class, they can pass it down. And we look forward to that time period. We can do as Chairman Mao Zedong said in the Red Book, where I can move a grain of sand, my son, my daughter move a grain of sand, their child moves a grain of sand. We can subsequently we can move mountains.
That's really powerful.
Yes.
I'm just
And this is a great example here. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you and your father, that y'all sitting here, you know what I'm saying? This is a great example here. Again, this whole, of course, there are things you say, that's the youngsters, that's the older children, but that dynamic of continuance, not until we deprive of that, you know what I'm saying? By the time we connected with each other, they checking us up out of here.
So I want your opinion. A lot of schools, like, what's your opinion? Like, a lot of schools don't really teach, like, the students, like the kids, about other other activists, like like Fred Hampton, Malcolm X, a lot of great activists that happened in y'all time.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, you ever like ask somebody like a younger, like, a youngster,
Yeah.
like a question like what they know about like the Black Panthers and how they school teaching it, because sometimes the history books in the school
Ain't no with it.
no, it's not. And it's really sad because it's either like they really old and they did never like change the
Yeah.
history, or they just not willing to. And what's
Yes.
your opinion on that?
We gotta be clear the role of education. You know what I'm saying? It's to keep us subjugated. You know what I'm saying? It's to train you, not to educate you. The system, you know what I'm saying? That's the role that the system does. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's to train you. It's not to have you. It's, you know what I'm saying? Think about self determination. Not to have these real models, we call them, as opposed to role models. In India, when they train elephants, if an elephant sees the trainer step on the cup and the elephant steps on the cup, that particular elephant has to be killed or transferred, because they run the risk of that elephant saying, wait a minute, why is I'm listening to this person? How is it, you know what I'm saying? I weigh more than this person, you know. So the deal is they produce America's, their policy is to, in particular with our people, is to produce a working, you know, what I'm saying, another population, you know, what I'm saying, to be working for them, you know, what I'm saying, never act certain dynamics. We gotta do like David Walker's appeal. You know what I'm saying? In 1800s, they would slip this book the boats, the ships. And we have to recognize this, our conversations of our intelligence is considered to be contraband. We have to, you know, so we have to be able to nod, you know, and know certain things. We have to, you know, we know certain times people um got to move around and speak certain things to make them to get the grade. But we got to remember, we got to always be like, be clear who we are. Be clear that you know what I'm saying. I mean, this is a, for all practical purposes, a plantation, and we gotta also use like comments, the dialectical materialism. That mean like taking into account history and look at certain dynamics and say, okay, now what's the? I tell people, if you don't know what they did to us yesterday, you have no idea they're doing to us today. So we have, you know, so we have to um, critical analysis. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if they say this person's a gang member, this person, so wait a minute, and see in certain time periods, wait a minute, if this is terrorism for your community, this could be terrorism for my community. And why don't we look at people like, you know, when somebody gives us information, say that, why is that person? And I say, I looked at on that show today, I say, how was these people speaking about the hip hop? You know what I'm saying? How do you spokesperson when it comes to our struggles? Look at certain dynamics. Where do you come from? And, you know, so how can you relate? How can you be the spokesperson for that, even if they mean well? Yeah. Now I'm gonna segue. Hold on. Hey, this is phenomenal. How many? You have a few more questions?
Yeah.
Hold
I
on.
was a lot of them. I was just
Hey. That's look. When does report due?
uh the 18th.
18.
Yeah.
I'll hold on for a minute, because you know what I'm saying. Let me bring them in real quick,
Okay.
and then we're gonna pick back up. You know what I'm saying? What's it? Okay, do I get a show before the 18th? Do I? I'm gonna bring you on. In worst case, you know what I'm saying. Let the is that other,
We're gonna come whenever you say.
okay, we're gonna make it happen. Is she, are we good? We're going now? No, they Chelsea here yet?
No.
Oh, she ain't got it? Oh, 5 minutes? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So I wanted to know, do you know how did your dad and the Black Panthers came up with like the free lunches?
Powerful questions. I was just coming that man, the genius of that program, all of the survival programs and stuff that you say it sounds simple. You think you would think it's a no brainer. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, like, say children going to school, and black children, particularly, their grades not up to par. And but so many times this just dismisses that. Well, that's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you, don't question. And Minister Yui talks about that when he was in school. Like he say, you know, that's how the schools are told you. Well, you know, had the old saying go, children are to be seen, not heard. Yes. And so don't ask no question. And I just, as adults, to be colonized, that's one characteristic. Like even when COVID, during the pandemic, we refer to it as, people, they tell them black, don't ask no questions, go in, don't ask no questions. And a lot of the white people, they was like, no, we gonna go to work, you gonna tell us something. But a lot of times we're talking like children, don't ask any questions. So we say the children, our grades not up to par, and just giving it just that it. The Black Panther said, no, that's not it. Wait a minute. It's in anybody, I don't care what color they are, that's going to school is hungry, it's hard to even think about an addiction problem. It's hard to have a discussion about what's the difference between a verb and an adjective. And they addressed it. They just totally addressed it. And then we had subsequently the Black Panther Party free breakfast program. You know what I'm saying? They you coming down, only prerequisite is that you hungry, and they serve the people. You know what I'm saying? They don't state moving like it do. They position was where they can't stop it, co-opt it, water it down, change it, make it something to be.
So I want to know that also made like let me get my question here. That also in a way didn't.
I'm gonna bring y'all three in anyway, and then when she come, one of y'all switch up. All right.
So that also way like with the free children breakfast program, why was that considered like a national threat to like the United
It was a
States?
national threat.
Yeah.
Former Director of FBI J. Edgar Hoover, he had said the Black Panther Party represented the number one internal threat to internal security of the United States since the Civil War. Attorney General John Mitchell, they said the Black Panther Party had to be gone by in 1969.
So it sounded like to me they were scared of the power that they was having, and how like, y'all was, I mean they, my bad, they was like unifying everybody together and making them more educated and powerful. Like especially I heard they was educating people on laws and,
Yes.
and everything to defend themselves
Yes.
and also self-defense.
It politicized the people. Once you know breakfast for breakfast sake, you came there. You know what I'm saying? You left with more than eggs and grits. You left there talking about, you know what I'm saying, the legacy of Deputy Minister of Defense, our apprentice Bunchy Carter, Deputy Minister of Education John Huggins, the case of Minister UEP. You left there going back to your houses, your homes. So, Mom, what's self-determination? What's Asada Shakur? So the parents start, what's going on down here? They start coming, endorsing it, supporting it. Black Panther Party is going to turn these programs to the people. So these programs presented a major threat to the status quo.
Because they didn't want them to be unified. They wanted us to be divided.
And let me close this. They didn't want us. See, the Black Panther Party, Minister people made it clear. He said a lot of times an error was put out there was against the Black Panther Party, against the police. But it was opposed to the people. The police was attacking. The state was attacking the people. So the fear was the people. We're gonna follow up. We're gonna follow up. All right, let me bring them in real quick. We're gonna follow up. Come on in, my three. How we look? We could bring them in. Okay. Yeah.
We can't change now.
I can. You sure?
They're in the middle of it.
I got you. Okay. Let me let them get right here real quick. Okay. Who gonna swing around? Yeah.
1 second, please.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Oh, okay. Oh, my phone. My phone. Hold on till she leave. Till she switch up.
I can see John. All right.
Okay, we'll switch. Okay, we'll switch up. Yeah. Whatever three. Whatever fashionista. Okay. How you feel, sis?
Good, sir. I'm
It's
well.
all love. You're looking great. Okay, whatever three. Get three, y'all. Okay. Switch up, yeah.
I'll just come back here and let them cover. Come in and watch.
Hey, Fremont, Fremont, good to see you.
So the ones who sit in the middle. Well, we need Mike in here. We got to get him to be three. Can Uncle come? Yeah, he can. Why Uncle Mike it?
But he gonna see him on.
But that's all right. I move.
Okay.
Come on, Uncle Mike. Because that's the brother.
Okay, come. Okay, come on. Yeah. Okay. You want to see it? Have y'all do it? No, if you want to be singing, you got to see me right there. Yeah, right there.
I was coming from, I'm a track coach, girl track and field coach at King.
Right on. Okay.
Go this way, Mom?
No. You can come around just behind those cameras. I don't want them to go wrong.
Blog Talk Radio. There are no shows scheduled.
Damn, the blog talk.
You say you ready to come back? Yes.
Yeah, we ready? Yeah.
It's coming down hard out there now.
What? It's supposed to get about 89. What? Just throwing down.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Here's up eyes on the fist clench, y'all. We still, hey, y'all can't. I know y'all took a pause for the calls, but again, we back. We took in the corner, get a shot of water. We back swinging, y'all. We back swinging, y'all. November 13th, 2024, y'all. I mentioned earlier, historical times, y'all. We come up on the heels of December the 4th will be the 55th year of the assassination of Chairman Fred Hampton, Defense of Lamar Clark. But it's important to put in context those times. I mentioned earlier, y'all here said turn like revolutionary times, what was going down. You know what I'm saying? We would be remiss. You know what I'm saying? This young sister just got through interviewing me now. And again, to put stuff in context, y'all, if y'all will, again, November 13th, you know what I'm saying, the assassination of Spurgeon Jake Winters. If those don't know who this is, y'all need to know who this is. The day after his birthday, November 12th, y'all. We are fortunate. We are freedom fighting fortunate, y'all. Have his family, you know what I'm saying, in the building with us, y'all. So we're gonna do some introductions here. Again, man, this is a hell of a comrade.
Yes.
Hell of a comrade.
Yes.
So we want to preface and open up, man, for him alone, the legacy Spurgeon Jake Winters, man. Right on.
All right.
Yeah.
We got some powerful DNA in the building, y'all. So if y'all can't introduce, first of all, we are honored and humbled to have y'all here with us, y'all.
Yeah,
And
we
then-
honored.
and-
We honored. Thank you.
Man, it's our duty. It's our
Yes.
duty.
We're humble.
Yes.
Yeah, it's our duty. Introduce, give us a roll call. Who we got in the building, y'all?
I'm Michael Winters, Jake Winters' youngest brother.
Salute. Right on.
I'm Chelsea V, Jake Winter's great niece.
Right on. Right on.
I'm Robert Gilbert, Spurgeon Jake Winters' first oldest nephew. I'm the oldest nephew of Spurgeon Jake Winters.
Show you right. Right on.
And I'm LaWanda Mendez, Spurgeon J. Winters' great niece.
Show you right. Right on. Man, we have some problem with our blog talk, and I notice other people's calling. If y'all can see us, the blog talk is tripping, so y'all can call in the 708-223-8953. I had some issues with the blog talk, and we got this the wrong day to have issues with it. But man, I'm upset about that because this is to be able to have this on this day.
Yes.
Again, we honor and humble y'all. Spurgeon J. Winters. Take us there, y'all, if y'all can, you know what I'm saying? If I can press with you, brother, Michael Winters, right?
Yes.
Give us a little insight, because a lot of times this young lady just get through interviewing me, she was asking me, I'm gonna run off one of her questions. You know, you hear terms like, they hear about these, revolutionaries, freedom fighters, you know what I'm saying, but to be able to know them, and that term gets I ain't gonna say no black, it gets a white eye. It's like this rah-rah disconnect from the people. But as I mentioned, this quote from Commandante Ernesto Che Guevara, which I'm paraphrasing it. A revolutionary, no matter how preposterous it may sound, is guided by the most sincere sentiments of love. Tell us about Jake.
Yeah, as you said, he was an activist. He was very intelligent, but he had a real feel for the people. And he felt that if the people wasn't right, then he couldn't be right.
Yeah.
And he believed it in so much that he gave his life for that.
Right on. Y'all feel free to
Well, I was in 1969, and I was actually only 3 years old at the time when he passed away. So I know that he came by where we was living at. We was living on Lake Park, like 39th and Lake Park or something like that. Years ago, he would come by there over to the house and see us and stuff like that. And he knew me since, only till I was like 3 years old. And so I really can't really comment on a lot about him because I was so young at the time. But he knew.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he knew. Yeah.
And I don't want to limit nobody because let me say this for disclosure. I was born 25 days after Chairman Fred was assassinated along with Defense Lamar Clown. But they say DNA is a motherfucker, man. And there's certain things I tell people like, you can like I learned through other people, like this term we use, dialectical materialism, where you like we come to a certain conclusion through common sense and through history. I can look at other people and say how they respond when they hear certain names. You know what I'm saying? And so even you, Chelsea, like how some of them, for lack of better terms, war stories. I mean, I even go like love stories that people, when you hear how you what's the response to other people, or you feel free to we going like hearing how he impacted other people, just even his legacy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His legacy. I learned a lot of, I'm able, I said in this poem one time, I say, I learned lessons from your legend on what a man was supposed to be.
That's it.
So even that, I come into contact with people, I was like, I done mentioned his name to brothers and sisters in the community we use this term demoralized as opposed to they were strung out, on drugs, whatever. They was going through, and I done see them light up. So they'll come back and tell me, like, damn, story. And I done like, this Jake's name, you know what I'm saying? I done seen people's response.
That's value. Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, that they chest, so if y'all get any of those, saying those testimonies and stories, whatever.
I mean, my perspective, I was born so many years later. Like I was born 1997. So for the most part of my life, I only saw my uncle's picture on the wall. And so like my family didn't really elaborate to me about who he was for the most part of my life. All I knew was that he was somebody that passed on, and then it was 2020. Well, I think in 20, I want to say 19 was when I began to start asking questions, and that's when I would say the revolutionary kind of rose up in me, because 2020 was when we were having a lot of protests and things going on after George Floyd, and somehow, some way, I found myself being a creative director of a nonprofit like activist group called Urban Reformers. And so, and I was just out there to be a peacekeeper, between the elders and the young folks. And so in that, I wanted to know more, because I'm wondering why, like I wanted to know who he was, and why do I have this urge and fire burning in me to be out here fighting too for change. And so I began to ask questions like, who is my Uncle Jake? Like, yeah, I mean, nobody fully told me who he was, but I learned, as I'm researching his name and Googling him, and then asking my grandmother the questions and things like that about who he was. Oh snap! Okay, then I'm looking into articles and things like that, and then I found my way over at, like, I think a Toyota dealership, and I'm talking to the salesman there, and he's telling me a little bit about what he knew and things like that. And so I learned he was somewhat of a savant. He was handsome, you know what I'm saying, but he was loved by the people. I learned that, like, his funeral, his homegoing, I don't even like to say funeral, but his homegoing, it was standing room only, and people loved him, and they loved him so much, and he was so revered by the people that, a hospital was named after him, and you know what I'm saying? And so in that, it just, a lot of times as African Americans or Africans, Black people, we don't know our history. We don't have the luxury of learning where our roots go back to. But I think that once I began to discover and dive into who my uncle was, is, whatever forever will be, that it really enriched in me, like, why I got to keep going. Like, whatever I do, I need to carry him with me, because I'm standing on his shoulders. He walked so I could run, you know what I'm saying? Or he walked so I can walk another path and shift legacy in whatever way that I can. And so, he was great. And, I find it a bittersweet moment that I can learn about him, but I can't share space and time with him. So that's why whatever I do, I'm always like, let me try to give him his flowers and whatever I do, because I can't give them to him while he here, because he was that great of a person. And I try to tell everybody about who he was, you know what I'm saying, in whatever way I can. So that's how I could speak to it. Well, speak to him in his life.
Right on. Respect. You mentioned like the picture on the wall. Michael, anybody else? Is there anything like I know like this this brown corduroy blazer that Chairman Fred had, and I remember just like being able to get that, the hold that, and I was like, damn, it triggered so many thoughts even with me. Is there anything like, I don't know, the schools or something that he had? There's something that you can see, that you can like tangible that you that you see or you think about it that bring like a certain memory with Jake.
I believe in the things that he used to do was he was multi-talented too and stuff. He was already working at a young age, an activist at a young age, and was going to college. So he to me he was very dynamic.
Yeah.
He didn't never force himself or his beliefs on people. He always tried to lead them the right way by example.
Yeah.
And that's always been something that's I felt inside of me.
Yeah. Right on.
And he was a sharp dresser.
Right on.
Right on. Some of his clothes.
I can remember. I was like 10 years old, and my mother, God rest her soul, she's passed on. She's the oldest child of the brothers and sisters. Jay is actually the second oldest child out of 5, I believe.
Yeah.
And I remember my mother took me on the bus one day to the west side and actually took me to the medical center and showed me his name and everything up on the medical center. And I was like 10 years old. And then I remember she was telling me things about him. And I remember she took me to the police station, and I seen the 2 officers' badges that were murdered by him when I was like 10 years old. And I started seeing my family with this militancy about themselves as far back as like 9, 10 years old. I started seeing how my family didn't like the police and all these different things. And I'm grateful to be a child of God, and that I see the difference in things and not holding grudges because of what he believed, you know what I'm saying? And knowing the difference, because I loved him, and like I say, I was so young, but I do remember when my mother took me to see these things and was telling me different things about him, but he was so young, and he died. So
how old would Jake be yesterday?
74.
So 74. I was talking something. I said if you talked to briefly earlier today, you say you went to school with him. If you can call in 708-223-8953 as opposed to the number I gave you earlier, we're going to struggles to blog talk. You mentioned going to the medical center and hearing the stories about the police. I heard stories like even how to become a Chicago police, they, saying, that was in their training. About Jake Spurgeon, Jake Winters, and the day part of them was told me the day after November 13th, the next day, Richard Nixon was the president then, was in a helicopter. They rode to the Panther Party headquarters on Madison and Western, and Nixon said something to the effect that the Panthers got the last one, we get the next one. And even one of the police, Galuli Rappaport, one of the police that Jake defended himself against, one of his childhood friends came on the December 4th assassination. Yeah.
Wow.
They had a connection with. How did even hearing how they shot his body up and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was I think when Judas and the Black Messiah came out, and I remember I was talking to my grandmother about it, about I just wanted to understand and to hear, I call it the destruction that happened to his body it brought me to tears because to think about how young he is. I've surpassed that age.
How just for the record, he was
He was 19. He had just
19.
turned 19. So really, he was freshly like
Yeah, like
technically he was kind of like 18 going
right,
into
right.
19.
Yeah.
Right? He just became a legal adult. And so to think about how young he was, and then for that many policemen for him to be met with, and then just to understand the magnitude of the pride, and not even pride, the boldness that he had, right?
Yeah.
He stood 10 toes down, you know what I'm saying? He didn't back down, right? And that like got to me, and then just to understand like how he went out, but to the details of like, I think my grandma had told me he was shot up so bad that like the brown paper that they put over him, it was soaked, like even down to his heart. It was just like a gaping hole in his chest from where they shot. You know what I'm saying? He just had holes all over his body. And yeah, I couldn't imagine a human being going through anything like that. And so, it was him, and I think that him going through that, maybe I, I don't know. Right now, I still be brought to like no words when I think about it, and I wasn't even there. I didn't even live in that at that time. But to learn about the details, and then to even learn further about like the articles that came out and the misinformation that was put out about how many times he was shot versus how many times he was actually shot, it just makes you realize the reality of propaganda, the reality of like what the news, social media now that we have, what they try to shift and what type of narratives they try to put out about our people. You know what I'm saying? That was something that like enlightened me, because I'm like, Dad, it goes on now, but it was going on back then in whatever way it was.
It was worse.
It was worse.
It was worse.
So yeah, it's still one of those things that messes me up, and I felt like as when Judas and the Black Messiah came out, I felt like it was my duty to tell my family's perspective about who he was in his life. Yeah, it was a little portion in the film, but I was like, his death, it meant something to the people, and people needed to know, and I have a duty to share that legacy, because I can't remember the quote, but they say, I think it says your legacy is not in how long you live, but how many the memories that people have of you. That's how long you live, right? So you don't die when you die. You die when the last person that remembers you passes. And so I was like, it's my duty to remind people of who he is, even past me, right? And so I was like, I mean, these details are gruesome, but we gotta tell them, because they need to understand the magnitude of what we were going through, and then why we gotta stand now. Yeah.
Right on it.
I can tell you. I can tell you a story. My mother had told me a few years before she passed away. We were talking one day, and my mother had told me how she had to get on the bus by herself and go down there and identify him. She had to identify Jake by herself. No one.
This is Jake's older sister.
This is my mother, Wanda Stroh. And she was telling me that she had to go down there because my grandmother wasn't available. She couldn't find her. And we was living on 39th and Lake Park. So she was telling me how that was one of the most difficult times in her life. She didn't have any support when she went down there by herself and had to identify him. I remember she was telling me this, and I was like, I didn't know what to say. I just wish that I could have been older and been there to support my mother, because it had to be horrific. Like my little cousin saying that for somebody had to go and identify somebody that passed away, but to see him, and she said the two police officers they were all in a room together when she went in there, and they pulled the cover back, and she seen how his body looked. She had to identify him, and they had their families in there, and my mother had all these reporters and all this stuff in her face, and she didn't really know what to do, and it had to be a traumatic time for my mother to stand there and have to go through that alone by herself, And I'm so thankful that she said these words to me, because sometimes people just have to get it out.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful
Yeah.
that she got it out, that we're able to share this moment in
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
That we're alive and able to
Yeah.
share this about,
Yeah.
the real reality of what that feeling was like.
Yeah.
For my mother to experience that by herself. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By her being the oldest
Yeah.
and having to go down there and didn't have no men support, no family support, just by herself, and had to go through that. So that was really, really
Hard hitting, HARD and HEART.
Yes.
Hard and hard hitting.
Yeah.
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 Who was that? Maybe I forget. It's like even bottom of his feet was shut up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what my mom said. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
my
but
mom said.
that sticks in my mind. But it's,
They shot him over 100 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you the cowardice that they portrayed, that even a person who's already dead, they
Yeah.
still want to
Bottom of his
savage
feet.
him.
And they said he
Yeah.
was met with about, I think it was 1,500 policemen was outside lighting him up in the building. Yeah.
Yeah, we live and direct on Fremont Radio. I wish I hate we ain't got the blog talk working, man. But again, if y'all can tap into 708-223-8953. Again, y'all feel free to call in, tap in with us, cub in with us, y'all. We talking about the legendary, you dig? Spurgeon J. Winters, Spurgeon J. Winters. This is something that, what I'm saying, we like to use this term real models as opposed to role models. These are some real models from our community. We freedom fighting fortunate to have his family in here. A lot of the humanity. A lot of times you get stats and facts. We don't even get stats and facts, but to hear these and how he transcends generational, gender, and geographical lines. You did. Got his family, his young, brother and nephew and niece. She point out she wasn't even born in, but legacies. And they had this discussion because a lot of times we're told don't speak about these forces or whisper in the covert. Other communities, they come out and they had these discussions. They say an orphan horse is the most difficult horse to raise because things you take for granted, like how to trot, how to walk, it needs to know that, and if it's just raised out without those other horses, it don't even know basic stuff. In our history, again, not just even the people. I done seen people light up. They're like, what? This even that man, and you start talking about Inglewood and this is some history that's that's not far fetched, y'all. So again, y'all got we got these family members right here, so y'all we gotta seize the time. And so your mom's was you showing me some stuff you've been doing too, and yeah, and I just and it's on the commend you, what I'm saying, and a lot of times we gotta put that we say that Panther Cub peel in applesauce. You know what I'm saying? So to get this is a conversation, y'all, that we just can't afford to have on this day or during Black History Month, but it gotta be intertwined in our music. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that there's like to a lot of these artists, you be rapping and stuff. You ain't gotta suffice for the John Gotti's and the Capones. And it's cats. Again, ain't no Chicago. Spurgeon Jake Winters, y'all.
Yes.
Spurgeon Jake Winters.
Yes.
That should be that's been your lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
A legend.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying to the churches and the pulpit. I'm saying, again, and that decimated the attack on the body. We talking about shooting the bottom of his feet up in the. Michael, how many times you say it was?
Over 100.
I think about they say with I know Denmark was it Tucson on Denmark Vesey and Reverend Nat Turner, how they chopped their bodies up. You know what I'm saying? It's after they called Denmark Vesey, spread his body throughout different parts. You know what I'm saying? Different plantations. You know what I'm saying? And the overkill. And that's like this. People say, what's the difference between like a murder and assassination? This is assassination. Because see, like Like you hear about these political prisoners. Like, how do you give a person 100 something? You're not gonna live that long. I said that's a statement. You know what I'm saying? It's overkill. It's part of the breaking process. When they did the Spurgeon Jake one, it's like on a plantation, a pregnant sister when she ran away. They would go bring her back in front of the plantation. They would slit her stomach open, stomp the fetus to death in front of everybody else. And that broke generations to come. You know what I'm saying? It is ingrained in you. The way that Spurgeon Jake, the way they got down on him, that was designed to break you. You know what I'm saying? For generations to come. But I want to make sure we be very real. When we hear that name, y'all, we hold our head up. You know what I'm saying? With a pride. You know what I'm saying? And the rappers, well, you know what I'm saying? Y'all do some research on this here. Let that name, that name, hey. These type of cats, you name the sister name your babies after you did.
I just would like to say, because you were saying about what has my uncle impacted. I like the fact about him having a clinic for the less fortunate in the community, and that's something that I love most about him because we love to serve. Our family loves to serve. We love to help others in the community, and we're humble with it. And so what we're going to do, we're working on folks on getting him a tombstone, because they never did that. And so we as a family, we pushing forth in unity to get that done. Yeah.
I want to make sure y'all repost it out there. Man, right on. His birthday was yesterday.
Yes.
And that dynamic. So yeah, we want to make sure we're gonna push for that, y'all. Again, before we leave, we'll get their contact, their tombstone. And that's political. Of course, it's personal. I just had a tombstone. We told y'all the story how they shoot Chairman Fred tombstone up, and you know what I'm saying that. We got to make sure that this freedom fighter, we owe it to the community again, y'all. So we make sure y'all get y'all pens and papers and the contacts. You know what I'm saying, how you can support that to make sure we get repost that, y'all. We gotta get that tombstone for Spurgeon Jake Winters, y'all.
Yeah. Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
And go ahead.
Oh no.
No, I was gonna say something like that too, and that's I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say this too. A lot of we look at a lot of times people have a detached or reactionary assessment of the individuals. Like I tell people, like even you look at revolutionaries, you look at freedom, you look at that time period. I'm glad you said we like to serve. You can look at I don't know if y'all have to say cool Odinga. He's a long-held political prisoner. He just passed recently. Soldier. In fact, they call him the moving Spider-Man. He was like they tortured him. He escaped. He come down the drainage in New York. Locked up for they locked him up for assisting to get up out of the jail.
Wow.
His one of Yacht, also known as Gaddafi, that was Tupac's man, point person, the brother who came up mysteriously murdered like a year after Tupac. That he grew up. That was Pac's guy. That was Sekou Odinga's son. And Sekou, I'm talking about. Man, hell of a force. But you look at like the dynamics him and his family too, growing up. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to point that out too, because a lot of times, you know, people they say, well, man, like organizations get blamed or even given the whole credit for certain people that are saying, but people, that's not. With all due respect, you are a product, your family, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's important. So you go back and you study, because I've been talking about like William O'Neill, the agent who provided the floor plan with Chairman Fred. They say his old man was shit. You know what I'm saying? And see, and so it's certain dynamics that I'm going to say this again. None of us exist in a vacuum. You know what I'm saying? And you can go back and again, we're fortunate to have y'all here. And there's certain dynamics you can look and say, okay, I can see them in the household with this, you know. And don't get me wrong, we gonna romanticize it because we got contradictions in all our families, you know what I'm saying? Yes. But however, it's certain dynamics, you know what I'm saying, that you can pick up on. I like you said that we like to serve. And that's dynamic, the party, like it politicized it, but there's certain dynamics you can see in a person in their household and say, damn, I tell people, like you can look at certain people you went to school with, you would say, oh, I can see that with such. You know, be like, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. You know what I'm saying? You go back as a child, so like it's not too far fetched. You know what I'm saying?
It's in our DNA. We love to serve.
Come on now.
We love to serve communities.
Yeah.
We just like to give back.
Dig.
When we have different events, we serve food. We just
Yeah.
Make people feel in a safe place.
Yeah.
And that's how God is.
Yeah.
That's our DNA. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's something I want to point that out because again, it's like I don't have this romanticism because I tell people and with our people, I said, don't get it twisted. We got some casualties. You know what I'm saying? And it's I say everybody want to be free. It's a book called Black Confederates. Is this somebody? Okay.
We have T-shirts too.
All right. Oh yeah. Welcome to Freedom on Radio.
Listen, it's an honor and a privilege to be on here with the Whamlet. I'm glad to see y'all again. This is Conrad, Mama Akua, and Jerry.
Right on.
Hey, Mama. See y'all here at a long talk out of the event, the Chairman Fred Street Party, August 30th. I forgot the name of the center, but can you hear me?
We hear you. You said the background. We hear you though. Yeah. Is there somebody other phone? Is another phone on? We'll keep talking because I don't want to lose this opportunity. Keep talking.
Okay, I had the radio on and the phone at the same time.
Okay.
That's what was happening. I'm saying, where all that noise coming? But anyway, I'm just going to be short. It's so good to see you all and to hear y'all. And long live the spirit of Spurgeon Jake Winters.
Long live. Right on.
He said, we should be naming children and everything about us. Well, who is that? And then we talk about Jake and what he did. And if you look at the assassination of Chairman Fred, you'll see him in there. He breaking down a piece like a click, like click. It ain't nothing, you know. And I don't know if I probably told y'all this. I made up a story about y'all, right? I said y'all had to learn how to break down and clean them before y'all got out of Pampers or diapers. You know, Jake was a beautiful spirit. He didn't do a whole lot of them, but he had this welcoming with a smile, and you could see him in the Black Panther headquarters at 2350 West Madison. In that movie, they were in there preparing for an attack on the office to maintain the supplies we got for the breakfast and for the medical center. And that medical center, it was so important because it was in West Lawndale, which at that time, you know, every year they pick out what's the worst community in the country, in the city. And Lawndale was Black people, poverty, miseducation, no medical attention, and just all lead poisoning, all kind of things. So I think it was historical that the medical center on 16th, and I want to say, I don't know, remember if it's Lawndale or Springfield, but that was with Springfield, the Spurgeon Jake Winters Free Medical Center. Let people know that here's somebody coming out of high school and a medical center is named after him. So you know the Black Panther Party. So he had to be a bad, bad brother and loved by the people. And I was fortunate enough to see him, to know him, and that he was part of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. Again, love and appreciation to y'all family.
We love you
and
too.
I know I'm going to see at least some of y'all, if not all of y'all, on December 4th.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all right. We'll get all of y'all a hug. I'm just sitting here listening to the show and watching y'all and just really, and Chairman, I'm glad you got them on there. I'm glad they came, and it's really beautiful.
It's an honor to be here.
Free of all.
Hey, Mother Conrad, what's the comrade's daughter? Did you get her the text?
I sent Ralph Bostic's daughter.
Yeah, I hope she's listening.
Okay, you know in the picture on the flyer?
On the flyers.
He's standing right there opposite Doc Satchel.
They had the apple hats on the flyer, but that's Ralph Bostic.
That's Ralph Bostic.
Ralph Bostic.
I sent his daughter the flyer with.
We hope she's listening.
I hope she's listening too.
That's Minister Doc Satchel. Shout out to Ruck, Stan McKinney, and so members of the Black Panther Party, and just and I'm just that's man, long live the legacy of Spurgeon Jake Winters. I just again.
Long live the legacy of Spurgeon Jake Winters.
Yes.
And we aspire to try to be at least some way like him.
So you're right. Right on.
It ain't a Spurgeon Jake's running around, but be proud and honored, and don't be afraid to say who he was and what he did for his people.
Yeah.
Free them all, power.
Free them all, power people.
to the people.
And that right on, power people. That like I said, they try to force an absolutes too about like it's like like I tell like with black males in school in particular, like the brain and the brawn theory. You know what I'm saying? Well, that you either if you got a brain, you a nerd. You know what I'm saying? Or you got to be the physical, the brawn. I tell you that the Panther Party, like Doc Satchel, who's the deputy minister of health. They say he had this baby face, you know what I'm saying? But he was known to carry that thing at 45 on security for Chairman Fred. And Deputy Minister Fitz Bunchy Carter, he would do poetry. But this, he was cold with poetry, but don't get it twisted. He bring them cats out of that business. That dynamic, like Spurgeon ones that people hear that the humanity to, you know what I'm saying, the intelligent, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, but to defend himself, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people but they give us this absolute that this either what you follow what I'm saying? And that I say I'm to the ruling class. Now their community allows us to have it. You can be smart, but defend yourself, saying, but they force it. And the party gave us this dynamic that don't get it. We love the people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people get that twist like you're a punk. You know what I'm saying? And that even I just want to point that out. And also that the medical center, something that to this day, imagine back then, the history of how the medical system has dealt with us as a people. A lot of us we don't fool with it. You know what I'm saying? So that, you know what I'm saying, that was a phenomenal move, a revolutionary move to connect him to the to the people, because it's a reality we have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Our bodies a lot of times we treat as guinea pigs or talked down to. You know what I'm saying? And to be associated with that. Because like I'm having struggles now. People try to tell me like even you get up that age to check your health out. You know what I'm saying? But it's a block about you know what I'm saying. But the party they had this thing like the people's advocate to make sure you when you come to see the medical center to make sure you're taught to a respect. You know what I'm saying? So these programs is good, and that's his name to be associated with. It's phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? And again, to have examples of people, because a lot of times, in our community, we're told if you love the people, I know people get it twisted, like just say no, we love you. You know what I'm saying? We would defend ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And Spurgeon Winter was a phenomenal example of that. Yes, indeed. I'm honored that we had this discussion. Yes, indeed. And people, all due respect, y'all, the Veterans Day, long live Spurgeon J. Winters. Yes, indeed. Power to the people. Yes, indeed. Raymond, any other thoughts, y'all? Feel free, man.
No, we're just grateful for this opportunity to be here today. Thank you for having us, Raymond.
So I do
grateful.
And we hope that this will spring a whole new generation of activists.
Right on.
Because the problem is still there.
Yeah.
They still killing us, saying a threat to them.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I know you recently I got a chance to catch back up with you with a Healthy Hood.
Yeah.
So I do work with them. And so it's just a legacy thing. It's like my uncle did it. I'm gonna continue to do it and tell my little cousins and them, you know what I'm saying? And my little cousins and them, like, y'all, this is who y'all standing on the shoulders of.
Yes.
Like even when we just had our first family reunion.
Yeah, I got that late.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Beautiful.
I heard.
And shout out to our family that are watching. I see you chiming in.
Right on.
See y'all watching. Love y'all.
Shout out to all y'all.
It was amazing. We hadn't got together too much since my auntie passed. But this family reunion was just amazing.
Right on.
And we missed you.
I got that late. I heard us off the chain.
Thank God for my family, my Uncle Mike and Robbie and the family. They said we have to come together.
That's
and
right.
We're just taking it by force.
Yes, right on.
Yeah.
But yes, we like even at our family reunion, I told my mom, I'm like, we got to do a balloon release to honor, our loved ones that passed, and we need to. I found it important that we included Uncle Jake in that. Like, a lot of them didn't know who he was, but I'm like, it's important that we begin to educate. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, like even down to like what I do in terms of art and create with creatives and things like that, it's always been a duty in me to educate my city. So yeah, we're not fortunate now. We may be fortunate because we are really pushing and advocating for certain things to be implemented in the city. But when I was, coming up a little, we didn't have a lot. So I'm like, I'm gonna go off and learn so that I could come back and educate. And a lot of people ask, oh, why you come back to Chicago? Why you gonna go back to Chicago? Because it's a duty in me to educate. You know what I'm saying? It's a duty in me to push the next generation, you know what I'm saying, to uplift, to affirm. And that's why, still doing the work that I do with with Healthy Hood, and then being able to see you there, it just warms my heart to know that we are continuing legacy, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Even though they are gone, we still pushing the same, I want to say agenda, but pushing the same what is it called? Fight.
Same fight.
Same fight.
No doubt. We have setbacks sometimes. We're gonna keep on moving forward.
Yes.
Moving forward.
Yes.
Moving forward. Yes. We have no choice.
I want to make sure you give your mom shared that powerful. Hold on one second, y'all. I'll make sure I don't hang over. Fremont, welcome to Fremont Radio. You there? If y'all can't call back, because I'm horrible with this technology, y'all can't call back. That video with you.
My film.
Your film.
Documentary, yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah. I just released my film entitled Giving Them Their Flowers, directed by the amazing Christian Loggins. I just remember, I'm reminded that people always gonna try to tell your story. People that don't look like us always trying to tell our story in a certain type of way.
Yes.
And so in my work, in my creative career, it's always narrative and storytelling has always been big to me. And so I didn't want to just I'm not here to do art or do anything creative just to be doing it. It's not for likes and comments and things like that. I'm not here to be trendy. I'm just here to do, the duty that God has instilled in me to just walk in purpose. And so this year when I did the film, it was very important to me that I tell my own story, begin to tell it and put it out into the world, because it's gonna be somebody that comes along and try to tell that, but now y'all got a reference. Y'all have something to look back to.
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
And a part of my story is my Uncle Jake. And so I touched on it a little bit in there. Actually I touched on it a lot, but we have in post you have to edit down, so you can get it down to so many minutes. But I found it important to begin talking about that, and so it'll be continue to be more, and we'll have multiple series and episodes stem from that. But storytelling is huge, and that's why I decided to do a film, is because my Uncle Jake not here to tell his story, but imagine if he was able to do something like what I did. Imagine like what we could do, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we're fortunate enough to have the stories to tell, but only if we had those things where we were able to hear from him. And I don't know where I'll be, you know what I'm saying, but at least I have something here on out that people can look back to and understand what the impact is and what my legacy was whatever. And I'm able to add in my Uncle Jake and those my grandmother, my great grandmother. Yeah, I'm able to like add their story in there too, because it is a part of my story. It is a part of my history. So yeah.
Right on. We're gonna stop at the
Y'all can watch it on YouTube.
I want you to get a link to that. I want to get you, and look, your eye for fashion. You gotta do some project or something for the Hampton House or some sort of, I don't know what it is.
Well, we just me and my friend Emma Stitch God, we did the installations. I think we did one out. Was it Maywood? It was out there when y'all had.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm like maybe something like that.
Yeah. We gonna when we leave, we gonna stop at the Hampton House. You look in there, you whatever energy you come up with, figure something out. Yeah. Give us what's the name too? The contacts, the shirts, and where they can send the resources for the tunes to support the tombstone.
Can I see? Chelsea made these shirts.
Sorry, I'm in
You
the
can
way.
see, she designed them personally.
Right on.
They're nice. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Powerful.
she designed it for Uncle Jake.
Right on. Powerful.
So we'll have information about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I'm
just
so
so. I feel
honest.
like we remember. I
Yeah.
came. I think me and my grandmother was here a few years ago.
Few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the start of something I was trying to do, just for him, so that we can build it, and it's something that we can leave, for, like I said, for the younger generation as they coming up, and so I started with like a hoodie or crew neck design, and then now I wanted to elevate it or revamp it, and this is the new design. And they wore them to the event y'all had.
Thank you for inviting us. It was nice.
Yeah, it was a great event.
August 30th, I do the y'all there.
Yeah, and my mama called me that night.
Honored.
She called me that night, and she was like, "Everybody loved them.
Yeah,
Everybody was asking us
Yes,
to buy the
indeed.
shirts." So I was like, "Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
look, I just decided y'all look family. We a family, so now that
That's
means
right.
we get to delegate tasks and move the needle. So
That's
it's
right.
the start of something, and
Right on.
I'm glad that it was well received.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows? Who knows where
Yes,
to go?
indeed.
Somebody's always watching.
Somebody's
Yes,
Somebody
indeed.
always
Yes,
looking.
indeed.
That's what my pastor say. You never know who you really touching because you may not see them,
Real
but
talk.
you never know who you really touching. So we have to be mindful and just make sure that we do the image, do it correctly and do it right, because we never know who we inspiring and who's gonna take this thing to the next
Real
level.
talk.
Exactly.
Real
Even when
talk.
we're gone, we want Uncle Jake's legacy to live on.
Yes, indeed.
Generation.
Yeah.
Unity serving.
And also, I would like to send out a shout out to my mama, who was just as important to, because she nourished the activists that
Pauline
we were.
Winters.
So you're right.
Yeah.
So you're right.
Yeah.
Long live legacy.
Jake.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And
Right
also, I remember as a little bitty boy, I would watch my grandmother crochet. I would watch my grandmother just work her magic, and I would sit there and just watch my grandma. I never told Chelsea this, but that's who she got it from, because my grandmother was a true crocheter, and she made quilts and everything. I watched my grandmother do these things, so the torch was passed to her.
Yes.
Just in the blood, because my grandmother was a true crocheter.
What?
I
She
didn't
truly
know that.
was.
Yeah, I
Yes,
seen
she
it in the
was.
documentary. Yeah.
I
Yes, she
didn't
was.
know. I didn't know. It was something that I found me, and then I think I have been crocheting and doing fiber arts and stuff like that
Before you knew that she done it.
before I had knew. So nobody else in my family was doing it, and then a teacher at my high school, she just started teaching me how to work with it, and something just clicked in my head, and I was like, okay, let's continue to do something like this. And once I became a senior in college, that's when I learned about I knew who my grandmother was. I found out she wasn't made to be played with, you know what I'm saying? I knew about that portion,
She was
but
tough.
Yes, indeed.
right, she was tough. But
This one came with you to the.
No,
okay.
that was her daughter.
Okay.
So my great grandmother,
Right.
my great grandmother Pauline Winters, I never met her. So it's crazy enough to know that like these two individuals, my great grandmother Pauline Winters, and then my great uncle Spurgeon Jake Winters, they are so much ingrained in like what I do.
Man.
And it's crazy because I've never met them ever. I've never shared FaceTime with them, you know what I'm saying? And so to see that they're so much a part of like what I do in terms of like community and then in art. And so once I became a senior and I learned about what she did, I'm like, oh my goodness. Like I've been doing this for 7, 8 years by now. So I have one of her blankets, and when I did the partnership with Nike, I made it my business to make sure that her blanket was in the background. So that was my Easter egg. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew. Only if you knew me, you had a conversation with me, you would understand the magnitude and importance of why that specific blanket was in the commercials and things like that. Is because, like I said, she walked so I could run. Like she did this, and like I can't help but to promote her, and this is the way I'm giving them their flowers. And then like even when I did my collaboration with Chicago Fashion Coalition, and I titled the collection "Give Them Their Flowers," whatever, I made sure that my uncle's picture was in the campaign photos, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because these
that Panther Cup peeling the applesauce. Yeah. Yeah.
I made sure both of their photos
that's right.
was in
I'm
was
with
in
yeah.
the was in the
Yeah.
campaign because it's like they're not here to relish
Yeah.
in these moments,
Yeah.
but they always
That's
gonna
right.
be it, and they
That's
always
right.
gonna be remembered.
That's
They
right.
always gonna be it's
That's
some
right.
part of my history.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So yeah, we rocking them, and
That's right.
that's why I did this shirt because my uncle wasn't no
That's right.
thug, but he
Man.
wasn't made to be played with. And
That's right.
We ain't gonna have no shirt with
That's
no
right.
wigs. We gonna have him looking
Man.
like a boss. Like he
Man,
was.
yes
You know what I'm
indeed.
saying?
Yes
So,
indeed. Yes
yeah,
indeed.
yeah.
So you're right.
Yeah.
Yes indeed.
Yeah.
That's how he look on there too. Yes
That's
indeed. That's what it is. That's what it is. Yes indeed.
Yeah.
Man, you just made me think about when I was like 7 years old, and I was sitting there watching my grandmother, and she was crocheting when I was like 7 years old. I'm almost 59 years old now, and you just made me think. I was sitting here, and it just went back. I went back to like being 7 years old, and I was sitting there, and my grandmother. It was like therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Her hand. It was therapeutic what she was doing. And
I'm watching your hands
and she would just be moving, man.
Yeah.
My grandmother just be moving. Yeah. She had all these big balls, and her hands were, and she was just creating. I can remember that as far back as I was 7 years old, man, sitting there watching my grandma. I would go in her bedroom and sit with her, and she'd be crocheting.
Wow.
And she had arthritis real bad, and I used to have to rub her shoulders and everything, but she always crocheted, man. She did that for many, 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 many years.
You know, I want this is probably the last thing, but I think this is one of the things, not even one of the things I think this year I really was telling people just to think back of like where I began to like where I'm at now. Crocheting was just my vehicle to be able to connect with the people, right? Because I didn't see anybody that looked like me. I'm telling you, when I first walked into I chose to go to a PWI, predominantly white institution, right? Because I knew that that's where the best education was. No, I ain't had no money, but my uncle and my grandmother and my family, like, we work hard, and I don't got no blueprint, but I know that's where the best is at. And why can't I have the best? I got a tattoo on me that says, why not? Because it's like, why can't I have the best? And so, you know what I'm saying? In that, Christian, it was just my vehicle to create the life that I wanted to live, but also again connect with the people. It was the career, the industry that I came into. It was predominantly white led, right? You didn't see any people of color doing what it is that I do. Having a space in this space. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even have them dominating it, right? You didn't even have people educating us or showcasing us doing this at the highest level, right? So I said, you know what? Why can't I do it?
Right.
Why can't I do it at the highest level? Why can't I show that we can have it in other spaces and see it on other Black and brown individuals and see it in a very cool way? No, I don't want to do blankets. No, I don't want to do baby shoes. I want to see it in culture, and I want to shift culture while doing it. And in that became the vehicle to me being able to do community projects and do installations in my city and talk about how fiber arts and textiles is a key pillar in mental health, right? Because then when I stepped on the scene in 2020, that's when people started to see me crochet, and now they're doing it in their houses, and you know what I'm saying? It's becoming a very therapeutic thing, and it's getting them through these hardships and hard times. And now I'm able to come and talk about, I deal with depression and anxiety, and I've had so many traumas growing up, but art was my vehicle to overcome. And so I think in that same way, parallel to like what I do, my uncle's vehicle was Black Panther Party, and him, just being a friend, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with my grandmother. Like she was just a nurturer, and that was her vehicle. My vehicle was just this art, and I'm still able to shift culture and narrative and show up in spaces that you probably wouldn't have never thought crocheting or fiber arts or even a Black girl from the South Side of Chicago could do. Like I'm making history. Like it's crazy to think that this thing was a hobby, and now I have my own shoe with Jordan Brand because it was my vehicle to shift culture narrative. You know what I'm saying? So, this was my vehicle, and my uncle had his vehicle, and where he started and how he grew. He just started from just being himself. And so I think that anything that people could take away from this conversation is like what I told the kids over at Healthy Hood is your brand or whatever, it is your story, right? People think you gotta appease and dilute your story to be somebody. No, the reason why the greatest individuals are who they are is because they didn't dilute their story. They continued to stay true to who they are, and they was consistent in that, and that's why they are who they are, and that's why they're engraved in history. And I hope that everybody else takes that away. That is why we speak about Uncle Jake, because he was consistent in who he was. You know what I'm saying? No, we not all perfect. No, he wasn't perfect, but he was consistent in who he was and his story, and that's why we still talking about him today. And hopefully, we get to talk about everybody else in that same way, about people just being who they are, right?
Come on, Chelsea B. Come on, Chelsea B. My baby.
Hey, right on. Hey,
Free them all.
Free them all.
Free them
You
all.
took it, free them all. Y'all took
Free
this
'em
full
all.
circle. Y'all took it through generations. I watched you. I mean, how you was flashback. You remember your mother?
Yeah, my grandmother.
Your grandmother's hands.
My grandmother.
And that generation of that man, that was phenomenal. We gonna ready to close. I gotta have y'all back again. Listen, thank y'all. That was a powerful. That whole generational dynamic. It's therapeutic. I'm telling you, I sat there. I watched you, and you. There's some issue you just gave again.
House of Chelsea B.
Man, give us all that. Give us social what people find.
Social media.
Yeah.
Social.
Oh.
You can.
Make sure you. Yeah. Speaking. Yeah.
House of Chelsea B.
Yeah.
If you want to support my brand again, like my mom said, it's House of Chelsea B. You can follow me on Instagram at Chelsea B128 or House of Chelsea B. Also on YouTube, at House of Chelsea B. If you want to watch the film, it's promoted on my Instagram as well. Man. So we actually just had our screening. We just had the screening about a month ago, I think. A couple of weeks ago.
I won't do one at the Hampton House too. I need you to help.
Yeah, we can.
You help promote it though, all that TikTok, all that stuff. You know, so I need you to do all that stuff. We had this conversation before. I need you to help promote it though. At the Hampton, yeah. She cold, all that social media stuff. Yeah.
I'm trying out. Look, I'm busy these days, but shout out to my team.
You just came back from a track run with the youngsters, right?
Yeah. So now I'm a girls track coach, track and field coach, or assistant track and field coach at King High School. So I'm over there working with them. And then it's a few other things I can't talk about too much. That we're going into 2025. Also, just dropped the shoe. With Jordan collab with Jordan brand called the Air Jordan 1 low SE inverted. You can shop the shoe on Nordstrom's, Nike.com, Snipes, wherever, in-store, online, whatever. But yeah, support the field.
How old are you, sis?
I am 27.
Right, man, right on. I had an 18-year-old just come up out of here with a powerful interview. 27. The youngsters, I'm telling y'all, we had all generations up here tonight. I mean, it's been powerful. Men and women. I'm talking about this. And we got the younger brother, Jake. This is a powerful DNA, man. Michael, anything else you want to answer, brother?
It was just to tell you, it was a pleasure you having us on here, be able to speak about my brother, and it's very therapeutic.
Yes, it is. We'll be back. We'll be black, y'all.
Thank you.
You good, brother?
Just so honored. Love my family. Love y'all. Love my church. Love my family. Love Pastor Clapton, the leader of our church, Carmel Public Community Church. Give a shout out to my church. Thank you, God, for being here. And we love you all.
Yes,
amen.
Power to the people. Right on.
Everybody look at the screen up there. I'm trying to get everybody's picture.
Wait, I can't. Let me go on this side, Chelsea. There we go. Wait. God, dog.
Oh, my head.
Your head, Chelsea.
Yeah, free them all.
Free them all.
Free them all.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Right on.
All right.
Yes, indeed.
This was really